All right, hello everybody, and welcome to the Frantic Talks podcast, episode 45. I am your host, Frantic. Along with me, as always, is my lovely co-host,
Grunt.
And we are here to talk about video games.
And junk.
And junk. All right, so, my camera just went out of focus there. Come back to me. Hey, welcome back. All right, so, let's get the advertising, quote-unquote, out of the way first. You can find us on Twitter, at frantic_talk. What am I saying? I just read a text message on my screen. At FranticJ3 is me. At ONYX Spartan is him.
That's amazing.
I'm emotional, all right? Everything that happened today already. We'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, so at FranticJ3 is me. At Onyx Spartan is him. ONYX Spartan, all one word. At Frantic Talks. No, at Frantic_Talks. I always mix those up. That is where you can hit us up on Twitter. Any three of those accounts will do. You should be able to find us. Beyond that, head to facebook.com/Frantic Talks, all one word. Twitch.tv/Frantic Talks, all one word. Live every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, although today we're at 5 p.m. Eastern, which, once again, we'll get there. And then beyond that, FranticTalks.com, the mothership. You'll see all our podcasts along with other articles that we've written here and there. And you can also go to magic.frantictalks.com. And that'll show you, Magic the Gathering podcast, podcasts and articles, all the like there. And then you can find us on iTunes, if you Google, just Frantic Talks. Really, you just search Frantic Talks, you'll find us. Go to YouTube, search Frantic Talks, you'll find us. You'll find the video version of this podcast along with the Sunday show where we recommend music and a slew of other videos that should be coming here soon. So, I think that covers everything. I was going to come up with a sponsor I was going to have a really funny sponsor for today's episode, but I forgot my drink in the kitchen. So...
I'm disappointed.
So I guess let's start off as usual. Grunt, how was your week?
Pretty good. Most of it was spent getting ready for Thanksgiving this week, so it was pretty busy. I played a game of the Commander format with one of the new decks I bought on Thursday night.
Yeah,
because that's what families do. They come home from the holidays and play a game of Commander.
Well, of course, that sounds like something I'd do.
And it made me really fall in love with the one card and commander that you can use in that deck, Vial Smasher the Fierce. That thing literally saved my life for the fact that you can, your first spell that you cast each turn, you do that spell's converted mana cost worth of damage to your opponent.
Yeah.
Or an opponent chosen at random. So,
which is super awesome in the long game.
It's pretty great. I'm very curious to see what you guys come up with for combinations using that card specifically in your new series.
Yeah, I'll talk about that series here shortly because I think I said in the last podcast that it was going to go live next week or this past week and it didn't. So I'll get there.
Eventually. You can't rush perfection.
Honestly, that is most of the story.
So, there you go. Yeah, otherwise, most of the past couple days have been spent with the holidays, putting up a Christmas tree, still decorating it. I was doing that just like 20 minutes before I got on here, as a matter of fact.
Nice.
I do believe that covers it.
Okay.
Played some D&D last night, which I don't have a hilarious of a story as you do.
I mean, it's technically both our stories because we played the same game.
Well,
so I'm sure we'll get to that.
But yours is, yeah.
Yeah, so I had a fun, hilarious week. First of all, happy Thanksgiving, belated, of course, to everybody. If you celebrated, I hope you enjoyed the food you ate. I sure did because it was all delicious and very gluten-free because that's how I have to be. But it was all really good. I had a lot of fun. And talking with family, we decided to deep fry turkeys, two of them, and one of them was covered in Cajun seasoning, and the other sat in like a thing of apple cider all night, and both were really, really good.
Those are very good.
Very, very good. If you haven't deep fried a turkey on Thanksgiving, you really should. It adds so much more flavor than just baking it, because when you bake it, it kind of just gets dry, and that's always my biggest criticism of turkey. Whenever I eat it, I'm just like, this is so fucking dry. But when you deep fry it,
I know how that is.
Yeah, when you deep fry it, we do it in peanut oil. When you deep fry it in like peanut oil, it kind of adds that flavor to it and adds the juices of the oil to it. So it's definitely not the healthiest. But then again, when it comes to Thanksgiving, I don't think that's everyone's prerogative or
Not usually, no.
That was my Thanksgiving though. a lot of different stuff happened. So you might notice in the background, I actually have some stuff on my wall finally. I spent a good part of Friday organizing the game room, is what I call it, this room that I record everything in. You could never see it because I always position the camera correctly, but literally to my left, which on screen is to the right, I believe, there was a floor covered in boxes of all sorts of random junk. And most of it was like Magic and gaming, what's the right word? I don't want to say propaganda, but that's the best way to put it. All kinds of shit. Nah, memorabilia, that's the word. Yeah, it was all over the floor over here. And I spent a good chunk of my Friday, about 3 hours, organizing this entire room, hanging the stuff in the background, which it's a little cut off by the screen because I'd rather you focus on me than the art in the background. But going from on screen left to right, we got Captain America, a city skyline of the city I live in with the bat signal that you can't see, and then an Iron Man picture. And there's one other thing I'm going to be hanging up when I get the right stuff. It's sitting down here. I can't reach it. It is a Halo poster that says fight, and it's like a 12 by 18. It's really small. Or not 12 by 18. Yeah, 12 by, it's very small. So that'll be up there next to Iron Man. I just didn't have enough stuff to hang on the supplies I had handy, so no, I organized this room. My desk is clean. It's not covered in Magic cards. There's literally just the graphics cards. I used to have a deck, my Commander deck from the latest series that I need to be working on tuning essentially, and a candle over here. That's it. And then above me, I have a lot of cool stuff, but it's much more organized. It feels a lot less claustrophobic in here, and I also organized wires over there. But that was my Friday.
Definitely would feel less claustrophobic, I bet.
Right, yeah. So that was most of my Friday. We played D&D, but I'll talk about that in a minute. Last podcast, I'd mentioned us writing 104 or 105 articles of Magic decks. We're still planning on that. The problem was Luke sent over his first copy of what we were going to post, and after I read it, I was a little nitpicky about it, but then I realized the document he sent over was incomplete. It didn't have an ending, so either the file got corrupted or something else along those lines, and he said he was going to tweak it, and I haven't heard back because, Thanksgiving and all that. So I imagine we'll probably get to it maybe next week. I mean, don't quote me on that. Everything's always up in the air, but, it seemed like we could do a little better than how we wrote it. But anyways, not to be too critical of how we write, it was just, I was being a little, perfection takes time, like you said,
right.
About it. Which, whatever. It is what it is. So let's get to Friday. Friday was stupid. So I spent the majority of Friday playing Destiny, which was a nice refresher. I hadn't done it in a while. Got my character to almost 385 light, which was really nice. Because she started at like 369, 370 in that realm. Might have been 375. Yeah, I mean, we spent from roughly 2 o'clock Friday till when we played D&D around, I left around 9, so about 7 hours straight of playing, which was nice. I hadn't gotten to do that in a really long time, and I really had fun. I always had Friday off, but that was a lot of fun. I don't have too much to add there. PvP is really stupid in the Crucible. It's all fucking, lingering dragons or whatever they're called. Clever dragons.
Clever dragon.
Yeah, those stupid pulse rifles. The PvP was just not fun. We finished out my Supremacy weekly Crucible bounty, which was from like 3 weeks ago, and then I was just like, I'm not going through my control one. And it wasn't even control. There was another weekly bounty I could have picked up, so that just kind of gives you a peek into how much I've played Destiny this past couple of weeks. But after that, I was convinced to play D&D with you guys. Now, I've played D&D with them before, and it's not like I have a vendetta not to play or anything. It's just usually time doesn't allow for it, and I wasn't sure what was going to be going on that week. So, or that day. And what ended up happening was I wasn't going to bring back the character I'd played originally. I wanted to try to potentially do one-off characters. When I played D&D back in high school, we had a friend who would come into town every now and then, and he would bring in a random character sheet that he made up of just some random person we run into, and it usually would be a boss fight. So we'd have someone come in from out of town to be a boss to fight. I like the idea of a random reoccurring person in the group, but a different character each time, because it can add variability to it and make you interact differently. I like the idea of it, and so I decided to build. So the first character I built, Thok. If you've ever listened to the earlier episodes of the podcast, you might remember Thok is a very, very good barbarian in terms of just how good a barbarian can be, like kicking ass, taking names.
Who cannot read anything,
who cannot read,
knows everything about magical devices.
But by luck of the die, knows everything about magic devices. That's just how it happened. It was really funny. So last night, I made a druid. Now, this druid was a character I had built before. It was actually a male the first time. I decided to switch it up and make a female. The one caveat of this character, when we make the characters, we did this there was the sheet of stuff you could roll to have drawbacks on your character, and it ended up being something like, oh, your character's illiterate, or your character is like is a chain smoker, so they have to have cigarettes at all times. Stuff like that, just minor drawbacks, but they force you to roleplay a little more. That's the intended design. And I rolled arachnophobia, and I was a druid.
Fun.
Now, this did not come up last night, but I figured I'd mention it because it's really funny that a nature-loving druid has arachnophobia. It's funny in concept until I realized, oh shit, I'm scared of spiders and I love nature. Like in real life. So, that makes sense.
So, you could say that there wasn't too much role-playing involved there, or too much trying to figure out how to work that in. It was pretty natural.
Exactly. It didn't ever really come up because we weren't really in a place where there were too many spiders. Now, when we were in the dungeon fighting those people the first time, that dungeon could have potentially had them, but it never really came up because we just kind of breezed through it. Now, what's really funny is when we first got there, we decided to go to this items vendor who basically just let us get something. Was it for free? Because I missed how we started the transaction. Did we pay him money and then we just got something?
Well, he showed up with a Wheel of Fortune wheel that we spun, and that dictated our prize based on our rolling of the percentile die.
Yeah, so we rolled a percentile die. Now, if you're unfamiliar with D&D, a percentile is just basically 2 D10s, and they add up to a percentage, 0 to 100. And based on that, we were rewarded certain things. What did you get? What was your reward?
I believe I got a 9th level cleric spell scroll.
Did you get one too?
Yes, I did. Because I rolled the highest percentile, like 79 of the group.
Okay.
It may have been one person higher, but I'm not 100% positive on that.
So to give you an idea, we're level 4, and
yeah, we just hit level 5 after
all that. Night. So to give you a good perspective here, I guess I can give you a perspective when I tell you what a level 9 spell does. So I rolled and got a level 9 druid's spell scroll, which means I can cast a level 9 spell for free. I have to do everything that it has, and I have to have all the materials needed, but I get to do it even though I'm not that level. That seems like it's probably broken, and you're right.
A little bit.
Other stuff that was won was a cloak of levitation. What else was there? Wasn't there a cap?
Our rogue got some sort of dagger, I believe.
Yeah, so we all got some really cool stuff. And then this person gave us...
Hawk got a hat.
Yeah, the Hawk did get a hat. So this person gave us a mission, and that mission was to go save his betrothed from these demonic cultists, basically. So fast forward to the part where we run into the demon, and we find her, the lady that we're supposed to be saving, and it ends up we have to fight the king of the city, who has an undead troll. Now, that sounds very scary, because it was going to be a definitely hard-fought battle, until I figured out what a level 9 spell scroll could do.
Those things are just broken.
Oh, it's broken because it was at level 4, it was when I used it. If it was level 9, it'd be more balanced. So what I decided to do, for all of you D&D nerds out there, I cast Summon Natural Ally 9, and I summoned an Elder Earth Elemental. For those of you that aren't D&D nerds, I essentially summoned a gigantic elemental that was made of the earth that was, 40 feet tall and 60,000 pounds. Yeah. Just hit like a truck. And he literally hit like a truck.
Literally a truck.
Yeah, it was busted.
Object.
Oh, yeah. And so what's really funny is Freak Show, who was our dungeon master, decided, you know what, this is already stupid. I already see where this is going. He decided that the demon that we had made a deal with previously was going to cast a spell on the elemental to make it even more stupid. And I'm going to put this in perspective.
Quick track back. The only reason we even had that demon is because I failed miserably at trying to look at a demonic sigil on a wall and try and disable it. So, in the grand scheme of things, I think it worked out pretty well. But
it does. So, to give you an idea of how hard this thing hit, our hit points are probably within the 20 to 50 range as a group, each person having roughly that amount of hit points. If you're higher than that, you're probably our tank, meaning you should absorb a lot of damage. The enemy that we were fighting probably had close to 100, I would say roughly in that realm, just guesstimating. And trolls have a special ability to regenerate, so it was going to take a lot of damage to hit this troll. And so my elemental, with the enchantment that was cast on him from the demon, hit 168 points of damage on the troll. And because it has this ability that when he kills something, he can immediately hit an adjacent enemy, he also hit 204 on the king. So in one turn, he dealt, what was it,
372 points of damage is what it equates to.
372 points of damage, roughly 6 or 7 times more than the hit points we had at the highest peak of all that. And we took the hardest encounter of the night and won it in 2 rounds because it took a round for me to summon my elemental.
Yeah, that was pretty insane.
It was amazing. I laughed my ass off through it. So that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed being busted as fuck. It was also 3 in the morning at that point, and I was just like, we need to end this, and I summoned an elemental. And what's really funny is the guy that we helped and did this mission for was like, yeah, I'll give you another one of those if you come back alive. So now I can do that again, which means my character might not be a one-off this time. So,
or you're going to end up dead, one of the two. A character's going to end up dead.
It was really funny. And then I guess the other thing that I did this week was literally just before this, I watched one roller coaster of a football game between Ohio State and Michigan. Holy shit. Did you catch the end of that at all or no?
No, I didn't. I was I'm an Illinois fan. We played Northwestern. There are Michigan to your Ohio State.
Right.
So yeah, I was a little disappointed that they lost, and I was like, I'm done with football.
Well, to give you an idea here, the Ohio State game went into double overtime.
No.
Ohio State won, but oh my god, was it a ridiculous game.
Ooh.
And for the most of the game, we were down. We weren't ahead. So...
the comeback was real, as they would say.
Yeah, we were only down by 10 at most during the game, and they only scored 1 touchdown in the second half, and then we only let them score 1 touchdown in overtime and a field goal. So... the field goal is how we won because they kicked the field goal and then we got the chance to get a touchdown and totally did.
Right.
It was crazy. So anyways.
Sounds like it would have been an interesting game to watch. Fans of either team.
I was on the edge of my seat. Yeah, unfortunately, we had some Michigan fans at the place we were watching. They weren't too happy, of course. Anyways, all right, let's talk about video games. I got a couple of things I think we should talk about, and hopefully we didn't spend too much time rambling there. First up, let's go into the rumor mill. Because I heard about this the other day, and this was posted like a month ago, so we're late to the party here, but it's still an interesting idea. Destiny 2, which is the sequel to Destiny. It doesn't have any official name beyond them just calling the sequel to Destiny. The fans have dubbed it Destiny 2, and we don't know too much about it beyond it's probably coming to PC along with, an Xbox One and PlayStation 4 entrance. And we don't know much about it beyond everything that could be a rumor. So let's tack on to the rumors here. The rumors including, we think that it'll be a carryover of your character, a reset of all the characters, worlds that are 10 times the size we're in. All these fun speculative rumors. How about, is it coming to the Nintendo Switch? Do you think that would happen?
I don't know. Personally, I don't feel like it. I just don't think if the rest of these rumors prove true and they want to have worlds 10 times bigger, larger than what we have now, I don't necessarily know if the Nintendo Switch has that kind of power in it.
Right.
So, I don't know. Also, I don't think that a game like Destiny is going to do too well on a console like the Nintendo Switch because it's clearly being designed for party play. The console, the Switch, is being designed for party play in my mind, and Destiny isn't. It wants you to party up with people, but not necessarily in the same house or room building as you. It wants you to play with your friends online more so than in the same area.
Right. So it would want you to. I mean, if they did go this route, what you're saying is it would probably require some amount of local stability, potentially.
Most
Seems
likely.
like it could be the more successful route, yeah. I think I can agree with that. One of the things that I heard, one of the theories that I kind of agree with, is that the Nintendo Switch, with the inclusion of Skyrim, seems to be trying to score some of the more hardcore people to play. As in, check this out, you can have Skyrim on the go. Granted, Skyrim's 5 years old at this point, but still.
Yeah.
It looked pretty good in the trailer. You know, that could have been simulated. It could have been real. I don't know. It seems like an interesting idea, and of the stuff I've seen so far, it's kind of divided among the fans. Like, oh, this seems amazing. Destiny on the go, the grind's going to be way easier now. Or people are just like, it could work, but not really, you know?
I mean, it could work, you know, but I don't think it will necessarily, for the reasons I just mentioned, you know.
Yeah, I think it could work.
Especially if they want to expand the game a lot more than what we currently have. So
right, yeah, it does all come down to the hardware of the Nintendo Switch. Now, then again, we have had like all the Call of Duty games on the Nintendo Wii systems. They did come out later though, so that's something to keep in mind. But what the good thing is how they store all the information of your characters. That's stored on their servers, not on your local system. So,
and that's amazing in its own right.
Yeah, it is amazing in its own right because it allows for you to, I don't know, hop systems and not have to worry about like a memory card, essentially.
Yeah, basically play anywhere you want to.
Right, so that's a good argument.
And here at maybe another friend's house who's like 4 states away from you. That's and you can still have all your information. Not have to worry about, like you said, lugging around a memory stick or a hard drive if you know that's your thing.
Yeah, so I think that's the strongest argument for it, is that Destiny doesn't have to worry about how well your system performs. If they tone down the graphics to work on a Nintendo Switch, assuming the Nintendo Switch is not as powerful as a PlayStation, then I could see it working. I mean, imagine this. Imagine you have 6 friends in a clan that are all from high school. Like, honestly, like my friends on PlayStation are. I don't have a PlayStation, but all my friends that I played with Xbox 360 with now have a PlayStation. Imagine being able to take your Nintendo Switch and all their Nintendo Switches into a room and doing a raid in the same room without having to have like a crazy new setup of all your consoles back to back or something. I don't know.
Not gonna lie, that'd actually be kind of cool.
So that's why I think it's a good opportunity potentially. Now, I don't know all the specs of the Switch because they haven't released it, and well, they've released some amount of information, but it's basically, this seems like a good idea, but at the same time, I'm sure there are things that we don't know that could definitely stop this from ever happening.
Yeah.
So I like that idea. I really want to see that be a thing in some point, and I imagine in the future that's how gaming will be, but this is definitely where it all starts, I guess, is the way to look at it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, so cool. I'm going to segue now. That was just an interesting thing I wanted to bring up. It was one of the only rumors that I thought was really out there and potentially cool in the same way. So let's move on to something Polygon, I think, just posted today or within the past day or two. And it's just kind of a cool little topic to talk about. What's your earliest video game memory? This was posted the 24th at noon. Is 24th today, or was it yesterday?
That was Thanksgiving. Actually.
It was Thanksgiving. So this was on Thanksgiving, but we'll talk about it here. I want to hear not only Grunt's, not only mine, but I want to hear all your guys' that are listening and maybe watching live if you are. I definitely want to hear your guys' earliest video game memory. What's the first video game memory you can think about? Because it's definitely a really cool thing to talk about, because some people can remember really far back, and I'm sure the people listening aren't all 23 years old like we are. So I'd love to hear your guys' first video game memory. So Grunt, what's yours?
Earliest one I can remember is actually pretty much when I really started playing games. It was an old Sega Genesis that my family had. My parents had. They gave it to me. And it would probably be starting up one of the Sonic games that they had for it. That was the very first game I ever played for it. Because I think at that time it was like the only one they had for it. But it was playing through that and going through the first level of that.
Nice. So like that's like your definitive earliest memory, because when it comes to mine, I can't think of the first one, but I can think of ones that were all around the same time.
Right.
So
yeah, because that's what really kickstarted my enjoyment of playing games, you know, because like I said, it was pretty much the first game I did play too. And that Yeah, I still have memories of collecting all the rings, coming up short on some rings, and getting a little annoyed at the fact that I couldn't get them.
Okay. Well,
Didn't rage quit. Did not rage
you
quit.
see, when you're younger, I feel like you don't really rage quit, but then again, I could be wrong. I didn't personally, but I know a few people who were not very good at losing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was frustrating because like I can get those rings, I know I can, and then I just can't. And it's like, all right, well,
Yeah, I get you. So mine, I feel like this is the article influencing me because the picture on the article is of a Super Nintendo controller, the one that had the colors for the buttons. I feel like that's influencing me right now because that is definitely probably where my first memory truly comes from. But I have three separate ones that I can think of. One I know for sure is not my first, but I'm going to mention it, and then the other two are really there. The first one is playing Halo Combat Evolved with my dad. I want to say I was 6 or 7, which I definitely know is not my earliest memory, but that is a very fond memory because that's kind of what jumped me into truly loving like Halo and everything. So
yes,
that was where it all started. That's my fondest memory, honestly. And playing like SOCOM with him, like he would play a lot online, and then he'd let me try it out for a couple rounds. Like my first experience of an online shooter, back when it was like 6 o'clock is when people actually got on to play because people weren't playing online at three in the afternoon or whatever. Oh man, those were interesting times.
Oh yeah, and I could easily add those to my list, but earliest memory.
Right. Earliest memory, I'd have to give it to Tetris Attack on the Super Nintendo, of me just playing it in general because it was a very simple puzzle game. It's basically, if you've played Bejeweled, it's basically Bejeweled, but versus a computer that eventually just got harder and harder as you played through the story mode. Now, I don't have any particular memory around it beyond just playing it a lot and really, really playing it to where I could beat the hardest difficulty, and it was such like a triumph once I did. I was like 6. That was the
huge triumph.
It was definitely that one, and probably also playing Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo because I don't know which one I played first. So those are kind of around the same realm.
Right.
That's mine. I think it's the graphic influencing me because I'm sure I played like PlayStation 1 or something like that maybe beforehand. Because I ended up getting like a Super Nintendo after the PlayStation 1 was released because I was weird like that. I never got a PlayStation 1, I got a PS2, but anyways, that's irrelevant, I guess, but I guess that's mine. So, like I said, hit us up on Twitter at Frantic Talks or at FranticJ3 and at Onyx Spartan. Let us know what your earliest video game memory is because I'm really interested to hear what our fan base has because I can think of a few people potentially that I know listen who are like much older and could like mention their Commodore 64 or something like that from like the 80s. Love to hear that.
School. It's going old school.
Super old school, and I really want to hear that. Okay.
Let us know your fondest memory too. I definitely
I like
definitely definitely agree with the old Halo couch co-op with my dad is one of my fondest memories.
Absolutely.
So yeah, definitely have to agree with that.
So while we're reminiscing about old times, let's reminisce on this year in gaming. And oh god, it says page not found. No, I had such a great segue planned. The Game Award nominees. Oh, it's missing an E. How is it missing an E?
Fix it now.
There it is. All right, the 2016 Spike TV Video Game Awards. So we went over these last year, made some hilarious picks that were not correct, and this year we're going to do it again. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I know we already did. We went over Game Awards already from, who was it? Golden Joystick, I think.
Golden Joystick, yes.
Yeah. This is a very well-known one, so this will be the one that most of you probably hear about. So we're going to go over this one here. They are live Thursday, December 1st. You can watch it. I don't know where, probably on Spike TV, and then it's going to be streamed, I imagined. I
think last year they just streamed them. I don't think they actually were on Spike.
Well, they'll probably stream it. I imagine stream first, and then it might be on Spike, but yeah.
We'll find out.
All right, so it starts straight up. What is the nominees for Game of the Year? And we're just going to go down the line because it's going to be way easier. We have Doom by id Software and Bethesda, Inside by Playdead, Overwatch, of course, Titanfall 2, Uncharted 4. Those are the nominees. Grunt, what do you think?
Well, I could just go with everyone's favorite pick, Overwatch, but
Right, you could.
Honestly, I think Doom has a good shot at it because a lot of people love the basically going back to its um or origins, you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, just a game where you go shoot everything until nothing moves.
Got nostalgia on its side.
Yes. The only drawback would be people didn't really seem to like its multiplayer because it didn't work for quite a while, I guess.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Um, Uncharted 4, though, I think might actually top it because everyone I see talking about Uncharted 4 loves it. So
I think the worst thing about Uncharted 4, like the thing working against it the most, will be that it's only for a PlayStation.
that might be, like I said, or actually will say, speaking in wrong tenses, that might be the only thing that does maybe make Doom or even Overwatch win Game of the Year.
Yeah. I'll say I'd be upset if Overwatch won. Not to say Overwatch is a bad game. I just think
It's
that.
dominating the rest of them, though. It's
Oh yeah, it's a matter of do we want to give all the awards to it,
right.
and I don't like that idea. Even if it's one of the best games ever, I don't like just giving everything to it because then what's the point of the show?
Right.
Beyond just a big publicity statement. But you also have to. I mean, it's a big battle in my head. Essentially, like you don't want to give it all to them, but at the same time, recognize that they did make a good game. So,
Exactly.
I personally think it'll go to Overwatch. Honestly, one of the last three: Overwatch, Titanfall 2, or Uncharted 4. I think Titanfall 2 might not have been out long enough to make as much of an impact. Uncharted 4 has got a strong going. It's got a strong fan base, and it's got a lot going for it. And I'm gonna say that Inside, I've never played Inside, but if it's this high up, I could see that taking it just because last year we picked a lot of stuff we knew and kind of ignored the stuff we didn't know, and the stuff we didn't know took it by storm. So
Yeah. So that's quite possible.
right. Okay. So yeah, I have a tough call there, and if I truly had to pick, I think it should go to Uncharted 4, but man, it is tough. So let us know your picks, by the way, while if you're following along here. So next up, we got Best Studio / Game Direction, recognizing a game studio for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design, and it's a lot of the people from the last group. We got Blizzard for Overwatch, DICE for Battlefield 1, id Software for Doom, Naughty Dog for Uncharted 4, Respawn for Titanfall 2. So literally the developers of the Game of the Year nominees, except for the one who made Inside, and nearly replaced with DICE, who made Battlefield 1. And holy crap, I cannot pick.
I know, it's kind of a tough decision.
I like the idea of giving it to Naughty Dog only because it's been a while since they've made a really, honestly, a bad game.
Right.
Naughty Dog has been. They are very good, and they aren't like, I don't know, corporate politics aren't like killing them in any manner like that. So I would be happy with it going to any of these groups because DICE did a great job with Battlefield 1. Again, Blizzard and Overwatch, that's a fine one. Blizzard's been around forever, though, so it's like, this is arguing, are they going in a good direction? And depending on how you look at other different things, who knows how you feel about that. id Software definitely did a great job with Doom, and from what I've heard about Titanfall, it's amazing.
Right. I think Blizzard could win it for Overwatch because they did something successfully that not a lot of people have in the past, and they brought specifically a let's see, what would Overwatch be? Multiplayer online battle arena, a MOBA.
Yeah, it's a MOBA.
They brought that to a console and made it popular.
Right.
And that's something people have tried to do, but they haven't really been able to do that successfully. And Blizzard with Overwatch did that.
Everybody forgot about Battleborn.
That's true.
Which is unfortunate.
But successfully.
Right, exactly.
Just on that part there. I don't think I like Battleborn. It was a fun game, but I don't think Gearbox treated it the way they could have to make it better. It's also not getting my game titles confused here. It's also not Borderlands. So
right, it's not. So I think I agree with your assessment. Blizzard will probably take it because they were able to do what others haven't really been able to do. So
I want DICE to win it because of game direction. We're getting away from these fictional shooters and the whole Modern Warfare thing that we've rented about several episodes.
Yeah.
And they're getting back to an older time frame that, could possibly be what wins it for them. Who knows? But I'm still going to stick with Blizzard.
Right, yeah. I like what you're saying. And also, the argument against DICE, though, is that we've already been in the earlier times. We haven't done World War One, but still.
Right.
The timing of it is good, but in terms of originality, that remains to be debated. Well, it might have been debated, but you know what I mean. Okay, next up, best narrative. Best story in a game. It's pretty straightforward. We have Firewatch by Campo Santo. Is that Santo? Yeah, okay. I want to make sure I read that right. Inside by Play Dead. Mafia 3 by Hangar 13/2K. Oxenfree by Night School. And Uncharted 4, again, by Naughty Dog. Now, honestly, I only know of 2 of the 5 games here. I mean, I know of Inside now, but I didn't know of it before going into this. I know about Mafia 3, and that would be pretty cool to see it. So out of all these, I don't personally have one that I think should win it. And I don't want to just go with the one I know is very good, which is Uncharted 4, but it seems like anyone's game, maybe? I don't know.
I think so. I've heard a lot of good things about the story from Mafia 3. Oxenfree is, from the people I know that have played it, they've said a lot of good things about it. Same thing with Firewatch. I honestly haven't heard a whole lot about Inside. So that might be our sleeper for this year.
Potentially. Okay.
In Uncharted 4, so, that's popular in some, right?
Yeah, right. We talked about that.
I don't know. That's tough.
Yeah. I'm just going to say whoever wins it probably deserves it. Ha ha ha. To cop out here, but I don't know. I don't want to pick one and just be wrong, so I mean, I'll be the weird guy and not go with Uncharted 4 and say maybe Mafia 3. Because I remember hearing a lot of good things about it, so.
I think it'll be Mafia 3 or Firewatch.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on to Best Art Direction. Outstanding creative and technical achievement in artistic design and animation. So, does the game look freaking great? Let's find out. Abzu is the first nomination by Giant Squid and 505. Firewatch once again. Inside. Overwatch and Uncharted 4. I really like the art design, at least in the picture of Firewatch, so I'd immediately go with that. But Inside looks like another one that looks like it could be really, really... I know the style of game Inside is, so that I feel like that could take it by far. But these all look amazing. I don't think Overwatch should count, though, honestly.
No. I've seen screenshots from Uncharted 4, so I think it's a strong contender, but...
Right, and it's not about which one's more realistic as much as it's using the game design and pictures and graphics to its advantage. And that's where I think something like Inside could take it.
And I have to agree. I think probably Inside. Abzu looks pretty interesting, but...
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
And we're just judging off of screenshots here, like having not really played these. We're totally being
scientific about this. We know our games, people.
We do. Music and sound design kind of speaks for itself. We're not going after art now. We're going for the sound. And we have Battlefield 1, Doom, Inside, Res Infinite by Enhanced Games, and Thumper by Drool.
I just want to say, the screenshot for Thumper looks horrifying.
Oh, yeah, it does. I'll put that on screen here. If I had to pick one, out of all these, Doom has an amazing sound design. I have played a few levels of it. Doom or Battlefield 1 could easily take this because I've played both of those and I know how amazing they sounded.
See, the only one I played was Battlefield 1, so I'd have to lean towards that from experience, but I don't know. Yeah, I think it could be open to anyone.
I'm biased towards heavy metal music, and Doom uses a lot of it, so that's where I would go.
There you go. The Doom's gonna win it. Boom.
Man, the opening level of Doom is so amazing because they use a very remastered version of the Doom theme while you're kicking some ass and taking some names, and it times it well with the cinematics, and it's amazing. That's why I wanted to win, because it was so good.
Right.
Sorry, guys. I like metal music. All right, best performance. Award to individual for voice... I can't read. Award to an individual for voiceover acting, motion, and/or performance capture. So this is going to be some person for some game. And we have Alex Hernandez as Lincoln Clay from Mafia 3. Sissy Jones as Delilah from Firewatch. Emily Rose as Elena, I don't know how to say her name, from Uncharted 4. Nolan North as Nathan Drake from Uncharted 4. Rich Sommer as Henry from Firewatch, or Troy Baker as Sam Drake from Uncharted 4.
Man,
so
Troy Baker and Nolan North, those two guys are in every game ever.
Oh, I know. So from one of the previous Game Awards show, I don't know if it was Spike, but there was Troy Baker came out on stage and he started his monologue. He was like, "So, everyone always asks me, how exactly do you get into voice acting in video games? Well, you wait for me and Nolan North to die." And and that's where the video cut off because it was hilarious.
That's amazing.
But that kind of speaks to what level of how good these guys are. So I don't have any pick for this because I feel like they both could take it.
Yeah,
because they're so good.
Nolan North has done voices in many of the other games I played, and so has Troy Baker. So I grew to like them as voice actors. So obviously I'm biased to them, but they are good at what they do. So personally, though, I feel like it's open to anyone.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe the year that Nolan North or Troy Baker's reign of taking all the best game performance awards ends, but who knows?
Most likely not.
Most likely not either. No, I wouldn't be sad if they lost, but I wouldn't be super ecstatic if they won either. So I'm neutral.
All right, Games for Impact Award. So this is thought-provoking games with a profound pro-social meaning or message. So I'm gonna guess that we know none of these games, unless one of the games we already mentioned has been said. So 1979 Revolution by Ink Stories, Blockhood by Plethora Project, Devolver Digital, Orwell by Osmatic Studios, Surprise Attack, and Sea Hero Quest by Glitchers, and That Dragon, Cancer by Numinous Games. Yeah, I've never heard of any of these, and I always feel bad when we get to this section because I don't know what to say about any of them. So I'm not going to pick one just because I don't know any of them.
All right.
Unless we pick based off of art, because That Dragon looks really fucking weird.
Well, I've heard a little bit about That Dragon. It's put in the perspective of two parents going through the loss of their child from cancer. So it's going through dealing with that, grieving, all of that. So it's, from what I've heard, it's a very, very good emotional game in that aspect. The biggest complaint I heard with it, though, is it tries to push the opinions of the developers and the people who the game is based off of. Onto the player a little too much, and people don't like that. So I think it may have been just a little too much, but just enough for some people to make it a liked game.
My biggest thought is I'm all for a game that's fun to play and has a good meaning to it, even if it has a lot of emotion. I'm trying to understand how exactly you play a game where you're just having a kid with cancer. And this is not to dog on. I mean, clearly, this is not to be saying having a kid with cancer is a bad thing, in the sense of I don't enjoy it. No one should enjoy that. But I'm trying to sit here and think, how exactly would the game work? Or is it literally just a narrative but interactive? So I'm not sure.
Yeah, for the same reason that you said, I don't know the games outside of what I just said about That Dragon. I can't pick one. So
okay, we can move on from that to Best Indie Game for outstanding and technical achievement in a game made outside of traditional publisher system. We have Firewatch. Hey, look at that. Hyper Light Drifter by Heart Machine. Inside by Playdead. Stardew Valley by Concerned Ape and Chucklefish Games. And The Witness by Thelka Incorporated. Well, considering Inside is up for Best Game of the Year, I feel like it should.
Chance of winning.
Yeah, Stardew Valley I've played, and a lot of people love it, so I could see that having an argument to win because it's not your average farm simulator. And Firewatch is also nominated in a few other categories, so I feel like that's got a strong chance to go. Hyper Light Drifter I've never heard of. It looks like a top-down, pixelated action game, I imagine. And then The Witness is very interesting in its art. I can't exactly tell what I'm looking at, so I'm going to vote for Stardew Valley, honestly, because I feel like that is a good one.
That or Firewatch.
Right.
Yeah, based on what you told me.
I feel like I want to play Firewatch.
Go watch them fires.
Right.
So yeah, I have to agree.
Okay, cool.
Stardew Valley might win it.
Yeah. Best mobile and handheld game.
Oh, you're gonna love this category.
Next category. Best VR. I'm just kidding. You already know where this is going, people. Clash Royale by Supercell. Looks like Clash of Clans or some bullshit like that. Fire Emblem Fates. Hey, a name I recognize, by Intelligent Systems and Nintendo. That seems like a not too bad one, because I've actually seen a little bit of that. Monster Hunter Generations by Capcom. Some game with Pokemon in the name. Severed by Drinkbox Studios. Of course, Pokemon Go by Niantic is in here. It needs to go burn in a pit until they fix it and not make it a shit game. I'm not going to rant again, but man, do I want to rant again.
Just go listen to our last episode, episode 44, if you want to hear his rant about Pokemon Go.
And as the episode is titled Pokemon No, you probably know where this is going. I vote either Fire Emblem Fates or Clash Royale, because why not? It's a Clash of Clans game, I imagine. I'm sure it's more unique than that since it's getting nominated, but still. The art is exactly the same.
Monster Hunter Generations, I think, has a good chance at it. I don't quite understand the reason or the deal behind Fire Emblem Fates, mainly because I don't know anything about the game. So that's why I'm picking it over Monster Hunter over Fire Emblem.
Right, I get you.
But I'm going to say the real winner is going to be Pokemon Go, because that's how this goes.
I'll rage quit life. I'm not going to actually do that. But man, I'll be so upset. Well, we're just going to move on here. Best VR game. So we have Batman Arkham in VR by Rocksteady.
That wins.
I mean, Eve Valkyrie by CCP Games. Job Simulator by Alchemy Labs. Res Infinite by Enhanced Games. And Thumper by Drool. Job Simulator better win this.
Yeah.
My buddy who has VR that I've actually played, he's played Job Simulator and he loves it. So I'm just gonna vote for that for him.
I see donuts. I see office utensils. Can you pick things up and throw them at your coworkers?
I wouldn't be surprised.
If you can, it better win.
So yeah, I mean, Batman Arkham VR sounds crazy. So
yes.
Okay, well, we're gonna move on here to best action game. That'll be fun. Battlefield 1, Doom, Gears of War 4 by the Coalition and Microsoft Studios, Overwatch, and Titanfall 2. This is the category I know the most about, basically. And holy cow, is it hard to pick. I'm scared it'll go to Overwatch. I kind of want it to go to Doom. But Battlefield 1 could also take it. My vote's Doom.
I don't know. I'm familiar with the Gears of War franchise, so I can kind of imagine how Gears 4 is. So, it's the basic dude bro mentality. Maybe a little less dude bro now.
Right.
That's tough.
It really is, because, I mean, they're all very good entries. Just don't know which one to pick.
I want to say Doom.
I'm picking Doom, but it's tough.
I want to say Doom, because if Doom doesn't win anything, who knows what's going to happen.
All right. Next up, we have Best Action Adventure, which is different from action. Action Adventure tends to be, it says traversal and puzzle solving versus, just combat. What were you saying?
I just looked at the nominees.
So we have Dishonored 2. Oh my god, I'm already seeing this. Dishonored 2 by Arcane Studios and Bethesda Softworks. Hitman by IO Interactive and Square Enix. Hyper Light Drifter by Heart Machine. Ratchet and Clank by Insomniac Games. Sony Interactive Entertainment. And Uncharted 4 by Naughty Dog Studios. Holy cow.
See?
Dishonored 2. I know it's tough to call for it, but I think Dishonored 2 takes this.
I think it will, because it looks like an amazing game.
I've watched the gameplay of my buddy. It's amazing. It definitely deserves it.
I don't know. I'd like to see Hitman maybe walk away with it too, because I like that. I love Hitman.
I've always enjoyed the Hitman series.
I'm not too happy with how they released the current game.
Right.
It's an episodic series, but, that really... I could get over that if it's a really good game.
Right.
But Dishonored 2 needs to win this.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Best role-playing game. Rich player character customization progression, both on and offline, including massive multiplayer. We have Dark Souls 3, and that wins. Next category. I'm just kidding. Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Oh, I meant to say what these were for. Dark Souls was From Software and Bandai Namco. Days Ex Mankind Divided is Eidos Montreal? Eidos? And Square Enix.
I think it's Eidos. I think it might be Eidos Montreal.
Okay. The Witcher 3, Wild
That's
Hunt,
gonna
Blood
win.
and Wine. It's a expansion, right? Yeah.
It is, yes.
World of Warcraft Legion, the latest World of Warcraft expansion, and Xenoblade Chronicles X. All very good games in their own right. I still think Dark Souls gets it. I have yet to play WoW Legion. I've heard my friends discuss it and talk about it who still play WoW, and it seems pretty cool, but I think Dark Souls walks away with this.
Yeah. I don't know. I
don't want to say uncontested, but man, Dark Souls 3 is really good.
I think The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, Blood and Wine will win. But
I'd be really upset because it won everything last year.
Exactly. But Dark Souls 3 might actually win because that's pretty good, honestly.
Yeah. All right, we're going to speed it up here. We're getting short on time. Moving on to Best Fighting Game. Game designed primarily around head-to-head combat. We got Killer Instinct 3, Season 3. King of Fighters 14, Roman numerals? Yeah, 14. Oh, these are by... Killer Instinct is by Iron Galaxy and Microsoft. King of Fighters is SNK Atlas. And Pokken Tournament by Bandai Namco and Pokemon Company. And Street Fighter V by Capcom. How did Street Fighter V get nominated? It had such a bad fan reception. I think you know my pick.
Doesn't matter. It's a new fighting game.
Pokken is my pick, of course. Pokken Tournament, which is the Pokemon Tournament game, but they call it Pokken. That is my pick by far. It's a very fun game, and I think it should win. So
I'm going to say Killer Instinct, Season 3.
Seems like a fair guess.
It has the Arbiter
is
in
the
it
screenshot,
too, so.
yeah.
Yeah, so.
All right. Best family game. Odds are we probably haven't played any of them.
Minecraft.
Is it in there?
It's actually not a nominee. Well, never mind.
Dragon Quest Builders by Square Enix. Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens by TT Fusion and WBI. Pokemon Go?
Alright, that's it.
My
We're
fucking
done here.
desk. Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Ratchet and Clank by Insomniac Games and Sony Interactive. Skylanders Imaginators by Toy for Bob and Activision. Man, Skylanders is a very, very popular family game.
It is.
If it doesn't go to that, I think Lego Star Wars.
I'm going
I always
with that.
enjoy the Lego games. Lego games are fun.
Yes, they are. I want to buy a new Lego game.
I'm gonna stop looking at fucking Pokemon Go. Ugh.
You can get you can move on into best strategy game.
The best strategy game based on real time or turn-based strategy. We got Civ 6 by Firaxis Games and 2K. Fire Emblem Fates by Intelligent Systems and Nintendo. The Banner Saga 2 by Stoic Studio and Versus Evil. Total War Warhammer by Creative Assembly Sega. Yeah, Sega, okay. And XCOM 2 by Firaxis Games and 2K. My pick is XCOM or Civ 6. But
Same
man,
here.
Civ 6. Civ 6 is so
Same
good.
here. Same here.
Yeah, I don't think much needs to be said. If you don't know what a Civilization game is, go play one. They're amazing. All right, best sports racing game. FIFA 17 by EA Canada and EA Sports. Forza Horizon 3 by Playground Games and Microsoft Studios. MLB The Show 16 by SCE San Diego and SIE. NBA 2K17 by Visual Concepts 2K Sports. Pro Evolution Soccer 2017 by Pez Productions and Konami. I'm going with MLB The Show because I love the show. It's a great game. But I could also see Forza Horizon taking it. Forza games are crazy.
Forza, I wouldn't mind Forza winning it. I bet FIFA, though, does.
FIFA's a popular one.
Because popularity.
Right. Popularity does play a role. Best multiplayer game, which is the last in the nominees instead of not being there, that are not fan voted, is what I'm trying to say here. Multiplayer game, we have Battlefield 1, Gears of War 4, Overcooked by Ghost Town Games and Team 17. Overwatch by Blizzard, Rainbow Six Siege by Ubisoft, and Titanfall 2. Wow, those are a lot of good entries. I feel like Battlefield takes this one.
Yeah, I think who will actually take it will probably be Overwatch.
All right, I almost forgot Overwatch was in the category. I honestly, in terms of best multiplayer games, Overwatch takes this. It's.
I really want to see Rainbow Six Siege though win it because
it was very innovative.
Yes, it's a more tactical game than all these others. Or at least most of the others.
Well, yeah, I mean, Overwatch is tactical, too, because you have to make sure you're playing the right amount of people, but...
Oh, yeah, but still, even at that, you can run in there and, throw
you can carry your team so hard.
And then, respawn and just go back to it, so...
Yeah. All right. So we have fans' choice. There's a couple of them here. We're gonna run through them really fast. Esports players. I honestly don't know any of these people. I don't think
Let's
so.
just pick the person with the best sounding name. Hungry Box. Boom.
All right. So we got Faker, Coldzera, Byung-Hyun Woo. I'm sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly. I'm not very good with foreign names. Infiltration and Hungry Box. Oh, Hungry Box for sure, dude. Team Liquid and Super Smash Brothers. Oh yeah, we're going Hungry Box. Esports team. We got SK Telecom T1 for League of Legends, Wings Gaming for Dota 2, SK Gaming, just in general, Rox Tiger for League of Legends, and Cloud9. Don't know any of them. We're going to go Rox Tigers because that's a cool name.
Yeah. The only one I'm familiar with, honestly, is Cloud9, so...
Okay. Best esports game. Oh boy, here we go. CSGO, Dota. Oh, so CSGO is by Valve, Dota 2 is by Valve, League of Legends by Riot, Overwatch by Blizzard, and Street Fighter 5. It's either Overwatch. Honestly, I could see it going to LOL as well, but CS:GO probably has like the biggest like fan following, and it's all popular votes, so people vote enough.
Or League of Legends.
Yeah, it's all a matter of how much the fans vote.
Yup.
Trending gamer. I actually know one of the people in here, or I know them pretty well. Angry Joe Show, Boogie2988, Danny O'Dwyer, and Jacksepticeye, and Lyric. Oh shit, Lyric. Boogie. I love Boogie. Boogie is one of my favorite people to watch on YouTube. He's awesome. So I would love to see him get this.
I honestly don't know any of them.
Boogie does a lot of Magic and Pokemon unboxing and stuff, so I love Boogie. I'd vote for him, but also Lyric is a pretty good one, and Jacksepticeye. Wouldn't be surprised if either of those got it too.
Lyric, because that's an amazing name, and the way they spell it is even better.
Best fan creation, we got Brutal Doom 64 or Enderal, the Shards of Order. Absolutely Brutal Doom 64.
Absolutely, yes.
And then most anticipated game, recognizing an upcoming game that has shown significant ambition and promise in moving the game medium forward. Must be announced and scheduled for release after the 1st of December this year. God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Mass Effect Andromeda, Red Dead Redemption 2, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I think Legend of Zelda takes it because of how many people love it, but I think Red Dead 2 is probably one of the ones out of all this I'm most excited for.
Yeah. I think, man, that's tough.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone is...
Tough call.
A lot of people are excited for Mass Effect, Legend of Zelda, Red Dead Redemption. The internet went crazy when Rockstar said, oh, yeah, by the way, this is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
God of War, I don't know. I'm going to say probably Red Dead will take it.
Yeah, some noise in the background there. I think that's our cue to end this episode. So, unless you have anything else to add, that is the last category that is fan voted. If you want any impact on those last couple of ones we mentioned, head over to, GameAwards.com/nominees, and you can vote on those last couple of ones, starting at Best Esports Player. So, with that being said, scroll back up to the top here. All right, nothing else to add, Grunt?
No, I don't think so.
All right, cool. Well, you can continue the conversation on Twitter at FranticJ3 is me, at Onyx Spartan is that gentleman, ONYX Spartan, all one word, and then at Frantic_talks. Shoot us your favorite, your earliest gaming moment that you can honestly remember, like we said earlier. Let us know who you think should win Games of the Year and all these other nominees, and also let us know your favorite gaming memory, because I would love to see what you guys have in terms of what your favorite and most fondest memories are. Beyond that, head over to facebook.com/Frantic Talks, all one word, where you can get updates on pretty much the same stuff you can get from Twitter, but in Facebook. FranticTalks.com is where you can see all that stuff usually posted, and magic.frantictalks.com is where we talk about Magic the Gathering. And then, FranticTalks.com is the mothership, so. And then beyond that, twitch.tv/Frantic Talks, you will see us live every Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, except for today. And if you ever are worried that you might miss the episode, just follow us on Twitter at Frantic_Talks. We always tweet when the episode is starting and if there are any reschedules. And beyond that, YouTube.com, you just have to search for Frantic Talks, or if you go to FranticTalks.com, click on a podcast, you can see the video version of the podcast. And you can head over and subscribe. Once we get 100 subscribers, I can stop telling you to subscribe. Actually, I'll always tell you to subscribe, but I can request it a lot less.
Subscribe anyways.
Right, yeah, exactly. You'll also get other cool videos like me recommending music, probably a couple album reviews, and picks for albums of the year. I'm considering, I've been running through my head some picks there. So you'll see a lot of different stuff over there. Should be fun. But yeah, I think that's just about everything. Did I forget anything? I mean, we're on
Don't believe
iTunes.
so. We're on
And
iTunes.
I'm working to get us on the other one. I don't remember the name of it.
Stitcher.
So if you're listening to this and you want us on Stitcher, you should definitely tweet at me how I do that. I'm sure I can figure it out, but remind me because I'll probably forget. All right, guys. I think that about does it for us. Like I said, hit us up on Twitter. Continue the conversation as always, and you'll see us next time, this next Saturday, live at 3 p.m. Eastern. But that about does it. So I'm Frantic, guys.
I'm Grunt.
We'll see you guys next time.